Thank you for stopping by my channel again. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded. I've been busy on construction projects that I can't carry a camera around on. I do have some stuff I've filmed and I want to show it to you guys, and I'm going to be editing that and uploading it soon. I wanted to take this opportunity though really quick. I have a little project going on at my house where we need to get rid of a closet, and I get this question all the time from people is this wall load bearing? Can I open up my kitchen? Is that a post? Is there a beam? Blah, blah, blah. This, I'll give you a little kind of summary of the framing components in a house and how the load carries. It's not a substitute for hiring an engineer. Most projects will require hiring an engineer, but this one I thought would be a good one to show you. It's kind of simple, and I can show you the structural stuff that's in my own house, and you can see how the components lay out, how there's a vertical and a horizontal forces being, at play here in the structural components, and just what to look for, simple things. Again, it's no substitute for hiring an engineer, but it may get you through some of those smaller projects, so stay tuned. Okay, so I wanted to start off this video by showing you some of the structural components in this house. Because it's a chalet style house and it's got some open open ceiling where you can see into the framing, it's a perfect place to show you. Right above my head here you see that beam right there, and that would be referred to as a ridge beam, and that's traveling. When you have a gabled roof, or a pitched roof, that's the beam that's traveling down the center of it. Off to the sides, you'll see these are going to be your roof rafters, and those span out and hold both vertical and lateral forces on your roof against the ridge beam, keeping your kind of walls folded up. Now, usually when you want to figure out if a wall is load bearing, you're going to start from the top. You're going to start from the ridge beam and your exterior walls. Those are going to be your load bearing walls. Almost always under a ridge beam there'll be a load. Almost always on an exterior wall it's going to be load bearing. So those two things you want to look at first. You start from the top, you look at what you have up there, and you work your way down. Now, again, in this particular house, it's an open concept. So I have the second story to this house is actually like a mezzanine. It's open style, and then the whole entire first floor is load bearing on the exterior, and most of it are partition walls. Now the second thing you need to look at is going to be which way your floor joists run on your second story. So that would be the ceiling of your first story. So you look at how and what direction those are carrying, because a lot of times those will be spanning a long distance, and along that distance you'll need walls under it, which you think may be partition walls, but those walls are actually carrying cut floor joists. So you may have a floor joist sitting here, and this is the end of it, and then starting again here. So that partition wall becomes important in carrying the load of the second story floor. So things to look for. Now let's head into the closet area and I'll show you kind of what we're working with there. Come on. Okay, so here we are with the little kind of closet area that I'm going to be removing, and this little area holds my HVAC, which I moved under the house, installed in a horizontal installation style, and we also had a water heater in this closet, which I removed and put a tankless on the outside of the house. We originally were just freeing up this closet because we needed a little bit more closet space in the house, but now we've gotten to the point where I looked at it and I said, you know what, let's just take the whole thing out and then we can put some built-ins or something in here. So here's where we're gonna start. Now, I've removed the doors. You see I've just pulled out the hinge pins and took the doors outside. There was 2 of them. There's one over here and one here. There is some mechanical connected to this. I mean, I have my little, I have my thermostat here. We have our, again, like our forced air unit here and the water heater, which I already pulled out, and some duct work. So what I'm gonna do is it's kind of an interesting project where it makes it much easier for me to remove this and then remove the furnace than to remove the furnace and then remove the closet space. So I'm gonna start by showing you guys how I would look at this closet and what I would kind of use to determine whether or not this is a load-bearing walls instead of just standard partition walls. So let me show you some of that. Okay, so this is gonna be difficult to see, but you can see I've already patched a little spot up here in the floor, and this little spot here had the ductwork going through. It was the return air for the HVAC system. Now, when I did that, I could see that on the edge here, right there, along that edge, that is a floor joist, and that floor joist is running, you know, there's one here, there's one here, there's one over there. There's 16 inches on center, and they're running in this direction. Now, if I back out here, it's gonna be difficult. Well, let me back out. So if I back out and you look at the whole thing and you look at the ceiling here, I know now that my floor joists are running in this direction, right? So this wall here is most likely not carrying any load. This wall here, it just goes from here to here, could potentially be carrying a load, but it's highly unlikely. So the next step is going to be to do some exploration, which we'll have to do on the side here and a little bit up here, and we'll be able to tell for sure which way the joists are running. So here we go. When checking to see whether a wall or an area is load bearing, you're definitely going to have to do a little bit of demo, and there's no way around it. You're going to have to make some holes, cut it a little bit, and see what's in the wall. Make sure there's no posts carrying beams. Usually if you're just finding a bunch of studs in the wall, and not usually, but again, you need to have it verified by an engineer, but a lot of times those aren't carrying any posts above. It's just a partition wall. So we'll check that first. Again, we'll check the floor joists, and we've already checked above. It's totally clear. So above this area, there is no wall or any load being carried all the way up to the ridge beam or the rafters or the exterior. So we know that above this is just going to be most likely carrying floor weight, and if those floor joists are spanning further than this closet or these closet walls, then we know that we can take those out. We can take these out, and they're just acting as partition walls or walls delineating space. So we're going to do a little slice into this wall and see what's up and take it from there. Corner bead. Okay, so I see nothing so far in this wall that leads me to believe it's carrying a major structural component such as a beam above it. There is no post. The post would carry all the way down actually into the basement onto a footing of sorts, and we don't have that here. So that leads me to believe that this is not load bearing. Now I do have like electrical and stuff in this wall, so I am going to have to do a little bit of dismantling of that. But we're going to continue here, and now I'm going to take a look at the ceiling and make sure there's nothing in the ceiling that could be load bearing. So let's do that. Okay, so as we suspected, we have got the floor joists running this way, and they are extending well beyond this wall, and most likely, or almost definitely, they're being carried on this wall here. So that makes this wall obsolete. The span can sometimes play a factor in whether or not it's load bearing, but this span is not that far. It's maybe 10 feet at the most. These floor joists are 2x8s, so very, well, they're not trusses, they're conventional lumber, so they're a little less strong going this way laterally, but again, the span isn't too bad. So this wall and this wall are gonna go bye-bye. So I'm gonna go ham on it for like 20 minutes, and then I'll show you what it looks like when everything's torn out. Stay with me. All right, so here we are. Closet's been torn out. Took me roughly an hour, just so you can have some reference with that. Up top here, you can see that my joists are running in this direction and carrying across to the other wall. So this particular area is good to go. I don't need to do any more structural reinforcement or anything else to make sure the ceiling stays up or the floor joist from upstairs. I would say that this is a heavy on the DIY side. You may want to hire a pro to do something like this. It's more for reference. When you look at your space and you want to know, oh, can I do this? And you want to do some of the skinning of the walls, to look at some of the structural components, to see taking drywall off isn't going to damage the structural components, but you know, you'll have to put it back if you can't do your project. So hopefully you guys can figure this out, and hopefully you can open up some rooms, add some space, do some cool stuff. Again, this is Trevor, Claw and Hammer. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the near future. Bye-bye.